Okay, the devices of direct democracy. So, direct democracy, the chief direct democracy devices are: number one, the initiative, referendum, and recall. Okay, let's talk about initiative, the number one device. Initiative is a method which enables the voters to bring to the notice of the government of the need to bring in legislation in any subjects on which the government has not enacted a law. There are certain procedures prescribed and minimum requirements to be fulfilled for initiative. One of the important conditions is that a minimum of 50,000 voters should submit a bill asking the government to enact a law of the choice of the voters. The government may or may not accept, because this proposal of the people should have the support of the majority of the voters of the nation. Number two, referendum. Referendum is basically a procedure according to which laws enacted by the national parliament are referred to acceptance of the electors. Whereas electors may accept or reject the enactment. If the electors accepted the enactment, it will become a law. Whereas referendum is of two types. One is compulsory referendum and second is optional referendum. Number three, recall. In democracies, voters elect their representatives in the elections to various bodies such as legislatures, local self-government councils, and a few governing agencies. Once elected, these representatives they hold offices for the entire duration of the life of the body concerned. Representatives sometimes do not perform their duties and discharge their responsibilities. If the electors are not happy with their representative, they cannot compel them to do the same. They have to wait till the next elections to remove such members from office. Therefore, a demand has arisen for removing such representatives and electing new faces in their places. So this way, or this method of removing the representatives before the completion of their term and electing new person is sometimes called the method of recall. And this is practiced in some countries, for example, Switzerland, United States of America, but not all of the world democracies. Particularly in Pakistan, there is no concept of recall. Okay, fundamental rights in Pakistan. So the part 2 of the Constitution of Islamic Republic of Pakistan contains basic human rights assurance to all citizens of Pakistan. Okay, human rights and democracy. So the concept, the mother document of human rights is called the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was enacted in 1948 by United Nations organization. And this basic document, the mother document, popularly known as UDHR, says that all human beings are born free and they are equal in dignity and rights, and they are endowed with the reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a very spirit of brotherhood. Okay, on 10th of December 1948, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which has become a universal standard for defending and promoting the human rights. So every year on 10th of December, the Human Rights Day marks the adoption of this universal declaration. Okay, so on Human Rights Day, it is celebrated around the globe that all human beings are born with equal and inalienable rights and fundamental freedom. Human rights regulates the relationship between the individuals and the state. Individuals must be protected against injustice, and it is the duty of the state to protect its individuals. The human rights state that all people are born free and equal in their value and right to which they are entitled. So this basic theory forms the basis for the entire great system of legal rule created in the field of human rights. Okay, there are different groups of human rights. Means to understand and to conceptualize the concept of human rights, we need to understand different types, different specialities within the concept of human rights. So first type is civil and political rights, and details are given below, like the right to life, freedom, right to vote, personal safety, all such are known as the political and civil rights. Then economic, social and cultural rights, for example, right to an education, housing, health, work. Then collective rights, the right to self-determination, peace and an acceptable environment. Why there is a need to protect human rights? The need to protect the substantive laws at the national level that respect human rights, for example, protection against torture and inhuman treatment. The need to promote procedural safeguards for those who are arrested under national security related laws, including access to lawyers, expeditious access to the courts and independence of the judiciary. The need to address the concerns of special groups such as women, children, refugees, asylum seekers, minorities and the indigenous people. Okay, so the need to ensure that there are checks and balances against abuses of power, and the state power is not unlimited. And the need to abide by international human rights standards. The need to promote the view that human rights or the human security and the national security are compatible, and that they are both accommodated in international law and the international human rights framework. Okay, so with this I have completed today's lecture.